Hello everyone, welcome to the channel, Off-Grid Investor. This is Dolph. I hope everyone is having a great weekend. Right now is a Sunday night. I'm making a video, so a lot of things happen in a couple of days, especially in the weekends. We have stimulus check news. That's a good news. So I can definitely see the market opens, pretty strong Monday on Tuesday. Actually, this video, I want to talk about what things that you might want to be careful with the market on Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, because of the stimulus check, like we might see like the jump, especially pre-market. I can definitely see that, but that creates dangerous, the situation, especially for like the young investors or the beginner investors trying to, to get, they might think, the market is going to bounce back. You guys been watching my videos. I've been buying the dips, especially on some of the high conviction, the stocks that I own. That's what you do, for the long terms that you're thinking about, the holding it for, the long terms. That's what you do. And that's the best time to add some more shares. And I've told you guys, what to do to protect your, the stocks, when it's downturn, like, using the option train. So if you haven't watched that videos, click some of my previous video and see, like, I particularly mentioned like what to do to protect your long-term the stocks using the option train. So we'll watch those videos as well. One of the things that you can do is to move some of the money to kind of save the value stocks. Like a lot of people do, like put money in like the the value stock. Like what would you say? Like the Walmart, Costco, the Walgreens, or those the value stocks, the AT&T. Like at least just for a while. Especially if your portfolio is heavily positioned in the tech, the growth stock. This is one way to kind of like position yourself a little safer way. But somebody asked me, like, like why you don't invest in those value stock much. So my thought is on that, is I like to invest in the long term, and that doesn't mean the value stock is not good for the long term. But it's like they can slowly still give you value on your portfolio. But for example, the Walmart, why don't I invest in a Walmart? I rather, if I want to invest in a Walmart, I'd rather open up size of a Walmart, the store. I might call it Wall Meat or something. Then why not like Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola, this is a good company, solid company. Warren Buffett, loves Coca-Cola company. If you are that, the patient as like Warren Buffett, yeah, definitely. I like to open up my own, the beverage company. I may call it Walla Walla instead of Coca-Cola. But that's what I think. That's how I think. Why do I invest in an EV? Because I cannot make EV, and I don't have that much money to the bills, my EV, the company or manufacturer, automobile company to build the EV. So that's why I'm investing in EV. And you can because of that, like the short term, I can definitely see like the Starbucks or Booking Holdings or the Chipotle. Also another thing, Chipotle, the people like to invest in the Chipotle. That I can definitely see the short term because of this the stimulus and all. the service industry, I think, will have little boost in near term, like 2 weeks and 3 weeks. I think, that's a good, the stock. Also, I'll be looking at some of those, the stocks. But the Chipotle, if I want to, invest in a Chipotle, I'd rather open up, my own, the restaurants. I may call it something different, but I know the food is going to be a whole lot better than Chipotle, and all these interiors will be better than Chipotle. That's why I don't invest in those companies. If you ask me that, so that's my thought on that. Because of that, I wanted to briefly mention about Squares because it's one of my favorite stock. I do invest in a Square, and I haven't been talking about the Square for a while. So let's talk about briefly. Right now, she said $218. If you have watched my video that I posted back in December 17, I believe so. So you can go back and look it up. When I called it out on this one, it was like $220, and it went up to like $280 almost. Yeah. So if you have made some, the profit, I'm always on, all about the making a profit. And if you think, like when you're holding a little bit and then, see like price going up, always take a profit, always take a little profit and then put that much of whatever that you make, just, it could be little, just, put it on the side, especially when you first started, like put it on the side, wait, until it dips, and something like, we had the last week, something like this, I mean, first place, you will have to see, like, you have to like the company to start with, of course. But, whenever it, kind of like goes up a little bit, take some profit, especially in the beginning, it is important. So that when we have like little downturn, like last week, you can put, buy some more shares, that's a good way of doing that. And the Square, they had the news the last week, yeah. So like I told you guys why I like the Square, and with all this, the future ecosystem they're planning on and all that. I've made it, the full videos, like why do I like, the Square and all. So, if you have little time, go ahead and watch that. But the last week, they have officially commenced, the banking operations nearly a year after receiving the conditional approval to operate the bank, and like, I mentioned, they've been waiting for this and, the building, the platform to do that. And so it is nothing new. So we knew about this. That's one of the things that I like, like about the ecosystem. So, I told you it is more, it is acting more like a bank, the bank, and the price was moving just, almost like a bank as well. So the Square Financial Service will be primary provider of financing for Square seller across the U.S. Yeah, so what does that mean? It's like the Square Financial Service will continue to sell loans to third-party investors and limit balance sheet exposure. The Square said it does not expect the bank to have a material impact on its consolidated balance sheet, total net revenue, gross profit, or adjusted EBITDA in 2021. So the banking capability in-house will enable the company to operate more like a kind of diversified. Yeah, so that's a good the news. So I wanted to point that one out. So if you haven't invested in the Square already, in this kind of right now, the market, it is still, think of this one is a still growth stock for me, but of course it is a little bit safer than all this, Tesla or Neo, Palantir, those are my still long-term position. But you can kind of move things around to a little bit safer the position in this market. So I wanted to kind of like to mention about that. And also, I wanted to a little bit to talk about the Jerome Powell and the Fed things. So, as you know, like the investors kind of like worry about the Fed. I already talked about this one in the last video, so I'm not going to go too much in depth about it. So mainly, I think the bond yield is going to still go up, no matter what the Jerome Powell the talks and trying to convince people that he'll keep the interest rate low, which I do believe that he will keep the interest rate low. But does it really matter to the market? I don't think so, because there's still in the short term there is going to be fear that the bond yield is going to go up, and I do believe the bond yield is going to go up, especially with the stimulus injection to the market, and the people like they do see all this the money coming in, and people will be start going to travel, and they'll be going to the shopping, like spending more money. So there's going to be a little bit of inflation is going to happen in the short term. So what I think it is, like near term, like it's 6 months or like or so, all this, the tech, especially tech, like the growth stock will have a little problem. That's what I see. But overall, like you're looking at a year or two, I still like to put money in the growth tech stock. So the best way to go through this one is to invest in a little, just like the little bit of money that you can afford, and thinking about the doubling down, even tripling down. So to think like if you put too much money on, you cannot double down or triple down. So put considerably small amount of money on the stocks that you really like, and because like you have to think about investing long term. The short term, I talk about the momentum trades and the swing trades, like all this, I'm giving you all this, the stocks that I like to trade, the day by day, we talk about that. But without the long term, you're not going to be the big gainer in the long term. So long term is the way to go. And I also briefly wanted to mention the Texas. Texas ends the mask mandate, and they announced that all this business to open like the 100% capacity, and there are a lot of the states already following, like including like the Mississippi and all that. So what this will affect the market, in my opinion, is going to short term really boost. There is going to be, especially like the retail, the stocks. I can definitely see that. But the thing is, don't get fooled by those, because all those retailers, they're having really troubles. And so many of the companies have already closed. So, in my opinion, this will have a really, really big downturn in near future, like in a year or two. That's what I see it. But ask yourself, like, we got a long way to go to recover, and that's what the Jerome Powell is saying. And that's another reason he's keep on telling he's going to keep the interest low, because I don't see this economy getting better. Like really, like the short term. But what I see is like after a year or two, it'll kind of slowly recover, and we all like to hope so. That's my my thoughts on the market. But please be careful on Monday and Tuesday. You know, especially if you do have strong, the green day on Monday and Tuesday. I'll definitely take a profit, whatever you trade, because on Monday, we have strong the green day on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday might have there's going to be a lot of the short-term traders who like to take the profit from that. So it is going to be the game of who takes the profit first, pretty much. So if you're not experienced, day trading or just quick momentum in and out, the day trading, I highly do not recommend. So think about that, and that's it for today's video. So I'll see you guys Monday. We'll see how the market opens. I'm curious about that myself too. There's going, that's right. I was going to mention about the Roblox. Yeah, the Roblox is going IPO on Wednesday, I believe. Talking about the Roblox direct listing is set to take the place on the New York Stock Exchange on Wednesday under the ticker symbol RBLX. Yeah, so that'll be something that I'll be looking at. That's something that I can see myself doing, the day trading on this one. So if I'm be able to go on live, I can definitely to show you guys, how I would like to trade. But I don't think I can go on the live yet. So wait for me. We'll get there. But yes, this is something that I love to dip my toes on it. Two of my children's plays Roblox a lot, and don't ask me how much money that I have spent on this one. But I'd like to dip my toes on it and see, and how this one goes. But the Roblox was valued in the private market at $4 billion last time, and the following the 150 million funding round led by the venture capital firm Anderson Horowitz in February last year. And Roblox, the daily active users have accelerated over the past couple of years, and especially so during the pandemic. So so many people was stuck in the indoors, seeking out for entertainments and all that. So it did the great during the pandemic. But also I wanted to to mention out that the revenue growth for this 17-year-old the company have increased by like 82% to about 924 million last year. But only the downside is that the company expects this growth rate will decline in the short term, and I can definitely see it because all this revenue came from the pandemic. Yeah, so in the short term, you may have little trouble, but the thing is, like all those users, Roblox users, they play this one years after years, and the revenue, I can definitely see the revenue will grow in the future. So if you like to play this one, like in the long term, you can definitely see that, like 6 month play or the 1 year play at least. But to me, this one is going to be less than 2 weeks kind of play. So we'll see. I'll definitely let you guys know if I start my position on it. But this is something that I'm keeping my eyes on. So especially watch me on Wednesday and see if I get into the position or what price that I get to. But I'm very interested in playing with this one, so I'll definitely let you guys know that. And I think that's it for today's video. I hope everybody is having wonderful weekends, and I'll see you on Monday.